Tip number one, practice playing quiet. You see this all the time. You see drummers saying how you have to practice playing quiet and how important that is. Yeah, playing quiet is important, but practice playing loud is more important. Because when you practice playing loud and slow, you're going through the full range of motion. Full range of motion means that your body feels time through motion. Because that's also another tool for drummers to help them feel time. Because you feel it with your ears, but also you feel it with your movements. Your arm traveling from here to here, that's a timekeeper. See that? It's like a pendulum swinging. And that only happens when you have full range of motions. So please, I encourage you to play loud and slow. Tip number two, overplaying. So I see this a lot. I see people talking all the time about how you have to keep it simple, not play too many fills, don't do this, don't do that. But the reality is that you are the only judge. You are the one who should, you, the musician, are the one who should evaluate these kind of things. You should not have a fixed mindset on music. You should not be like, I have to play simple. That's the only way. I must do it. That's not the way it is. You have to approach each song individually and understand what is required. If you feel like this song needs 1 billion fills and that song is gonna sound awesome that way, then just go for it. The most important thing is that you don't let your ego get in the way. If you're playing a gazillion fills just because you want to show off, then of course that is the wrong mindset. But if you're playing a gazillion fills because that's what feels good, go for it. Don't think like, oh, but I have to keep it simple. No, that is the wrong mentality. Tip number three, listening to other musicians. So, of course, listening to other musicians is a good thing, but it's not always a good thing, especially when you're just starting out on the instrument. It's very important that you listen to yourself first and that you are playing in time with yourself and that everything is smooth sailing. Once you realize what it's like to keep time and everything is working perfectly, then you can go ahead and listen to other band members. Let yourself be inspired and inspire them. But number one priority, always remember, is to listen to yourself first, then the others. Because if you're just listening to the other band members and you do not realize what you are doing yourself, then that's a big, big problem. Number four, quiet hi-hat. This is also another one that's quite common. You see people talking about how you have to keep the hi-hat real quiet, you know? That is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. While the other ones, I can give them some slack. To this one, I gave it zero slack because the hi-hat is not quiet. The hi-hat is quieter than the bass drum and the snare drum. It's very different. Because if you start thinking about having to play the hi-hat quiet, you're not going to be able to keep yourself in time. That is your timekeeper. That has to be loud. Otherwise, you won't be able to keep yourself or the other band members in time. This is your best friend. You want your best friend to be heard. Make no mistake about it. This guy has to be loud. Any genre, I don't care. It can be accented on the downbeat, accented on the offbeat, have all straight, but it has to be heard. Always. Play the hi-hat like you mean it. Number 5, fancy bass drum techniques. Where do I start with this one? So me personally, I experimented with all bass drum techniques. I experimented with letting the beater come off the drum head. I played like that for many years, with every time never burying the beater. I played heel down. What I do nowadays is I play heel up all the time. No heel down. I almost never take the beater off the head unless I'm playing some very quiet jazz stuff. Then in that case, it makes sense. But the problem with playing John Bonham style bass drum with the beater coming off is that it leaves you unbalanced. You're not gonna be balanced. You can try. Maybe it works for you. If it works for you, then just keep just keep doing it. But if you're struggling with your bass drum and you're trying all of these fancy techniques, forget them. Forget about them right now and just keep your leg up and stomp down like a mother effer and forget about it. This is my recommendation 100%. If you've enjoyed this video and if you found these tips helpful, please leave a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section which video you would like to see next. Peace.